Well, welcome. We're glad that you're with us. My name is Eddie Rester.
And I'm Andy Stoddard.
We want to talk to you today about pastoral care during the pandemic and even beyond this initial phase of the pandemic. How do we care for those in our congregation well? And how do we reach out? How do we reach visitors and guests and new members who are engaging with us right now while we're doing digital and online worship and meetings?
Eddie, that's a great question. I think it's one of the things that we churches, frankly, specialize at. Churches, before the pandemic started, one of the things we define ourselves by is community. We love community. So then, what does it look like to have this great Christian need filled in a space where we really can't? And what we're finding at St. Matthew's is we're using some modern elements. We're finding that social media is important, but texting, calling, those new, if you will, new technologies, which really aren't new, we've had them for a long time. But what we're actually finding is we're finding a lot of old things. We have an older adult class that they send out through mail their lesson each week so that they can still get their lesson from their teacher. We're having people write letters. We're sending phone calls. We're doing some of those old school things. And I think what it is it's about trying to meet people where they are through either technology, our old school stuff, but it's about presence. What matters about community on the front end is presence. So what matters in this new moment is continued presence, both digitally and also with analog, if you will. And I think as a clergy person, it's been important for pastoral care to be visible, both through social media and technology, just so people can see me, see my posture, see my optimism, see that I have not withdrawn, but I'm still just as present in your life. It just may look a little different. So I think finding ways to be present through either new school technology or even the ways that have worked for thousands of years.
Yeah, one of the things that we've done effectively is that as some of our folks have called our senior adults, they've invited them to call other senior adults or to check in on other people. So just giving people,
Okay.
I guess, their own power.
I say empowering, and a lot, because reality, we say this as clergy even before the pandemic, there's just one of us. Well, that's right. And our laity, our church, because we make a vow as members of the church that we're all in ministry together, we really are force multipliers in that way, where everyone can be touched as we digitally or through analog, if you will, right now.
One of the things we've also found is if we can find good resources, whether that's counselors who are doing videos or other articles, we've been sending out some of those to help people deal with grief or loss or just a sense of anxiety and stress at this time. One of the other pieces of caring for our congregations is also how do we deal with visitors at this time? Andy, I don't know how y'all have been dealing with that, but for us, it took us a while to realize a lot of people are listening in, tuning in, watching from afar who might not have engaged our congregation before. And what I'm hearing from other pastors is that that's happening regularly with everybody who shifted worship online. One of the things that we've started doing at OU is we just assign a person every Sunday to be the curator of our Facebook Live and our YouTube conversations. So as people comment, they're watching people comment. If we mention links or things, they will post a link there in the comments. And we're watching who's coming back week after week, and we're taking note of that. And sometimes if somebody's been there for 3 or 4 weeks, we're reaching out to them to say, hey, we know you've been with us. We're so thankful that you're with us. Just a point of contact. One of the other things that we developed later on, as a matter of fact, was a digital information card. You can do this on Google Forms. You might have some other technology to do it, but it's just a way that they're in the Facebook feed or the YouTube feed. We put that out there. We talk about it. Hey, if you've been visiting with us and want to fill this out, it's right there for you. We can get information from folks. Some people have checked that they wanted to join. Some people need prayer. Some people just want to be on the email list. Some people want information about Sunday school in small groups. So it's just a small thing to do that allows people not just to be passive listeners, but to engage with us as well so that we can reach out to them when we need to.
That's right, Eddie. Kind of that we're finding on the same token is that we, as churches, we're really good at insider language. And so like we're trying to be very forward leaning, even in our worship videos. I'm Andy Stoddard, and when I'm introduced, I'm Andy, good to see you. My email address is right there the entire time.
Right.
For every staff person that has a part to play in worship, we make sure that their email address is attached to their part. That way people know how to reach out to, not only know who they are, because if you're a guest that you just popped in on Facebook Live or YouTube,
Right.
you don't know us from Adam's House Cats. But if you can see a name of who we are, but then also see an email address. And we're encouraging, hey, during the altar call, hey, email us. If we're prayer concerns, you can't come to the altar right now, but you can email the staff and we can be praying for you in this time. So yeah, we're trying to, it sounds simple, but it's one of the things I think we can miss, that it makes sure we identify ourselves well. We also have our contact info readily accessible during the actual worship service for people to see it and reach out to us.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things, again, moving people from just passive listeners to providing people a way to engage, because I think right now people want to engage. People who haven't been a part of the life of the church for a long time are wanting to engage. And so providing them just some simple things that they can do. Like you say, Andy, getting rid of some of the churchy language,
yeah,
I think sometimes, or explaining to them churchy language, but giving them ways. We've had a lot of visitors who've given during this season simply because we've been real clear about how to give to OU and providing them just links.
And that's another thing we've done to be faithful as well in this. If your church is doing online giving, you're going to get a record of who gives. If you see names that are new, reach out to them. We try to reach out to new givers, even if they're consistent, just one time say, hey, thank you for supporting our church in this time. Thank you for this act of worship. Because your offering is an act of worship. So thank you for that. So we're trying to find human connections to digital realities.
Exactly. And this is going to go on for a while. We know
That's
that a lot of folks aren't going to return to worship, even when we do get to a point to open the doors again. So it's going to be important for us not just to slide back into old habits, but to know that whether we're taking care of a senior adult or a young adult with some kind of condition who's going to only engage online, or if we're going to continue to reach visitors who are now seeing our online presence as the front door entry, it's simply a matter of thinking a little different and finding ways to engage at that level.
That's right. I think we need to understand that this digital presence is nothing that's going to go away. I've told my staff, if you start something now that works, just understand you're going to be doing it for a while still, because these things are working. I mean, like, I know if I was a member of OU, I would love worshiping online. I could mute you and then fast forward to the good parts. That would be awesome.
You can listen to, or just choose the Sundays Chris is preaching.
That's right.
Watch those. That's.
Could I dub in Chris's voice over you? I mean, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Thanks for spending a little time with us. If you have ideas, we'd love to hear from you. My email is erester@ouyumc.org.
And I'm Andy Stoddard, Andy@stm-umc.org.
Well, good luck. God bless. And thanks for spending a little time with us today.